Hey guys, Nuke Marine here. So I'm just going to do a quick recording, show you how I use Audacity to make the what I call Trimsleur. So let me just first off bring it up to you. Now, Trimsleur ideas is taking Pimsleur, taking out anything that was English related, and just leaving the native language in that video, in that audio lesson. So you get something like this.
次の会話をしています。でも、ドルは持っていません。
円を少し持っています。円を少し持っています。
Alright, so again, it gets rid of all the English prompts, and you're just left with, in this case, you're just left with the Japanese. As I'm only going to be taking this up to lesson 30, and there's 90 lessons in the entire Pimsleur Japanese course. If people are interested in doing this for later events, I just wanted to show, like, okay, here's how you can simply edit a audio file to just trim out parts that you don't like, and just leave it at that. It's not going to be an exhaustive type of video. It's just going to be pretty much bare bones, because I am not an expert in the program in question. Now, first thing you want to do is download a program called Audacity, Audacity, Audacity. So let me just show you real quick, and then after you download that and install it, I think you can just get the latest version. Then what you can do is, after it's installed, then basically you get the attached audio file set. So what I do is, like, let's say lesson 15. Here I want to say open with, and in this case I'm just going to open it with Audacity, and then let's go see if it does its thing. Alright, so right now it's loading it up. I'm going to cancel that because I already preloaded Audacity right now. So this is what you're left with. So you're going to get something like this. These are basically left-right channels. These are just the audio, and yeah. Only thing you're going to really worry about is the space bar plays it.
And ask what she's going to do.
Spacebar plays. Deletes a selection, and you can use the mouse. You can actually highlight a selection, and with that selection, you hit delete button. It will delete that. Like, for example, so all that got deleted. Let me undo that. And then right up here, you've got a magnifying glass. That's for a zoom tool. So what you want to do is zoom in. So it's about, you can see up here, right now it's got about, that's roughly 15 seconds. Each segment's 5 seconds. I want to say one more time. Alright, that gives me a little. Now this way you can kind of select pieces between where people are talking, if that's needed. So let's say, for example, and that's the magnification tool. Now you want to make sure about the selection tool. So all you want to do is just click and hit spacebar. So you don't want to be playing through the whole thing. You want to do this quickly. So let's delete the English part.
This is unit.
Alright, so that part I don't need to worry about.
In America.
Right there.
The conversation.
Right there.
I'm leaving.
Alright, so right there, this is all English, so I'm just going to highlight it all right there and delete. Alright, cool. And what I'll try to do is, like,
次の
できま
せんね。
ロをも8度
はい。19出ます。
どうも
もう一度聞いてください。
Alright, so this is all basically Japanese. So right there's going to be the.
Do you
ます。
Alright, now majority of things you're going to be deleting are things like this.
do you remember how to say?
Alright, so these are basically questions, and they're questions for single words. So what you can do is highlight and delete. So highlight that and press delete. Now this is going to be Japanese there, because he's asking a question. You're going to get a Japanese answer. So you can skip over that one and.
Greet her back.
Okay, this. You notice you don't have to listen to the whole thing. You're not deleting, and don't worry about deleting these silences, because that's going to come into play later. All right, and so I go right here. Now this is Japanese.
こんばんは。
Okay.
And
All right, so delete that.
now you.
Delete that. And like I said, you now this right here, you can kind of tell these are the same things. But I mean, if you want to,
ビールは
if you want to be a little paranoid, you can check it. But
Answer.
you pretty much know if that third one is English, then the previous two were Japanese anyway.
すみ
Okay, so these two are the same.
Say.
Okay, so again, just highlight, delete, and move forward. And then when you get near the end, and there's probably a shortcut key to do this as well. I'm not an expert on Audacity, so just what I was doing to quickly get a job done.
Say.
Okay, so you can just delete that.
When he.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
even if this seems fast, it's going to take you about 20 minutes to get through the audio.
Say. Say.
1000
ask, answer,
All right. So keep going through like this. Now you may get to a part where you're not seeing, especially near the end where they're doing the conversation. Let's see. Right now I'm at the 3-minute mark. So let me just go down here to the end. Now there are parts in here where they are giving a lesson, and yeah, it looks like this right here.
now let's learn
聞いて
食べられます
All right, so this is teaching the word teberaremas, and it's up to you if you want to delete this part. I delete it if it's not a word, if it's just the syllables.
ます
Like mas, I'll keep because that's that technically is a word.
れます
That's not a word.
られます
Raremas.
食べ
Yeah, so that part I would delete. But you can leave if you leave it, that's no problem. So you just hear like mas, remas, raremas, teberaremas, and then you'd hear the full word.
食べ
So it's up to you. I was deleting it, but if you leave it in, if you're worried about it, just leave it in. Anything you leave in that's Japanese is fine.
how do you say
All right, and then you would delete that part. All right, and you would basically keep going from there. And there may be parts like right there. This is
I
Japanese.
can't. Can you?
Okay, so in fact, let me undo that so I don't get confused. Okay. Yeah, so this one here, let's see.
Here is how.
全然
聞いて
So you see that right there, there's not really a plot. There's a slight there, and that's going from English to Japanese. And if you do this a lot, you kind of get a feel. If you do this, I started getting a feel for it already, but you kind of know like, okay, I just keep the Japanese in. Just delete the English, and you think you should be fine. All right, and then you get all the way to the end, and so back, and these are like, I think these are conversation parts here.
どうもありがとうございます
And now you.
Now you see that? This part's going to be switched between Japanese and English. So just find the English part, select it, and get rid of it. All right, and then you get near the end, you're finally done here. All right, you can, if you want to, select that whole thing and just delete it right there, and then that part there you would have deleted as well. All right, last thing you do is all this silence, all this part right here, you need to get rid of. You need to truncate it down. So the way you do that, you go to Effect, go down to here to Truncate Silence. Now I think the default is you truncate it to 0.5. I truncate. I want the minimum duration to be 1 second. Anything more than 1 second, I want to truncate it down. And I'm going to truncate it down to 1 second. So you probably have to change the. I think you have to change this variable here to be 1 second. I think it was like truncated down to 0.5 seconds or something. But yeah, so that's roughly how I think is just enough time between comments. If you make it a little longer, you should be fine. Probably don't want it shorter than 1 second though. 1 second's maybe too fast anyway. So maybe if you want to do it 1.5 seconds, up to you. Should be fine. So the main idea, when you hit that, it's going to compress down all the silences and you're left out there. So we'll just assume that happened. And last thing you want to do is go to here, export audio. And you would save it under here like Japan level 5, then they'll go to the next page. You just make sure all the metadata that goes into the audio program, the audio file, is correct. What I do is I change Pimsleur to Trimsleur, and instead of Japanese one, I say it's Trimsleur 1. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, because this is going to be, and then I'll put edited by Nuke Marine, but you can put edited by your name if you want to, by the guy who did the, who said he had did the, yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. In fact, let's say here, so let's say save. All right, right there, and see right there, Pimsleur, I would say trim, Trimsleur, and then this right here, Japanese 1. Change that to Trimsleur. And then down here, like where the comments there, I'll just say edited by. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Then you would hit, make sure you're down here, you click OK. That's all. None of this stuff, that save is not it. That's for the template. That's for the later on. But you hit OK, and then I'm just going to cancel it out. I'm not going to save it, but because I still got a lot of editing to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, when you're done, it should take that 30 minutes of audio, and you've compressed it down to 7 to 9 minutes. around 7 minutes or 9 to 9 minutes. It gets a little more difficult as you get further and further into the lessons, but hopefully if you are doing this, it makes sense. And by the way, if you are going to start doing this, communicate with other people, and if you need to, you can coordinate through myself or on Matt vs. Japan Discord, the SVJL Discord. If you want to, the idea is like, okay, if somebody's going to do the editing, then another person doesn't need to edit that file. They can edit another file and just save effort. So if like 10 people do this, they can finish the other 90, the 90 lessons like within days as opposed to weeks, which it would take me to do if I would do it. And I'm not going to do it past, again, lesson 90 or lesson 30. So again, if this is proving beneficial, and the way I'm hearing from other people, it is beneficial, then yeah, this needs to be shared. I'm not worried about the copyright because I think that this is you've edited it to the point where it's not in its original form, and you've repurposed it. You definitely have repurposed its use into being definitely immersive audio, comprehensible immersive audio, which in my argument is actually what helps train listening above and beyond anything that's programs that are out right now. All right, and then when if we make the audio clips available, that means we can put it all into some type of single source and make that available to people who say, okay, look, here, get Trimsleur audio, do a lesson a day. When you're done with that lesson, listen to this Trimsleur audio, which is, and put that into your audio immersion loop. So that every so often, like once every 3 hours, this audio is popping up, type thing. And yeah, just keep going at it. And like I said, if you do the math again, if you do like 90 days of 7 minutes each, that's 630. So that's 10 hours. That would be 10 hours of pure Japanese that you would be having on loop and listening to, and you just comprehend it. You just know what it is. When you hear it, you know it, and that's a really good way of training your brain. That's just how you train your brain. It's not like you know it by concentrating. This becomes audio without thinking. So at least with this audio, you are fluent. And if that's 10 hours of Japanese audio that you're completely fluent in, that's a good place to be. A really good place to be. And the idea, of course, if you're doing it with, again, going back to the previous idea, was that that's the comprehensible audio, so that's 7 minutes. You mix it in with 15 minutes of regular Japanese, of a TV show you like. Like if you watch Death Note, make it 15 minutes of the Death Note, and then the next lesson, another 7 minutes, add in the last half of Death Note. So it's like, all right, or for me, I'm using Terracell, so let's say, hey, I'm doing 15 minutes of Trimsleur, and then, or 7 minutes of the Trimsleur audio, or Trimsleur audio, and then I mix it in with 15 minutes of the first half of episode 1. Then I got another day, it's lesson 2, so I would do second half of episode 1. Then lesson 3, first half of episode 2, lesson 4, second half of episode 2, and keep going on there. So pretty much I'm creating like 20 to 30 minutes worth of Japanese audio, of which 30% of that, a third of that, I completely comprehend. And that comprehension of the video audio I understand will eventually bleed over into the audio you don't understand. So you're listening to, and that's really where you want to go. It's right. That's why it's called seed audio. And I think you'll be getting a lot out of it. So anyway, I'm going to leave it here. So pretty much, again, do the editing, make the files available to other people. I'll even post them if you want. I'll still leave it under patron members, like members only. Not because I think because again, you have rights to it anyway. I mean, so you can post it anywhere you want. But if I'm going to share it here, I just want to keep it as lower on the radar than normal. I'm a bit lower on the radar. It's already pretty low on the radar with the changed name, but we want to go a little lower than that. And yeah, it should be fine. And like I said, so anytime past 30. And again, I'm excited, by the way. If you're going to do this and you're going to use it, let us know how it works out. Myself and Matt I think we really want to know, like, hey, how is this training people to understand Japanese through audio only going to work out? Especially for his guys who have to do like 3 to 4 months of training, and their studying is just with kanji, which is zero Japanese audio as well. although they are doing the immersion, so they're listening to a lot of Japanese, but it's not comprehensible. So what happens if, okay, we slowly start introducing comprehensible audio to the mix? What is that? How would that change? What was the impact of someone who's done that, who while they were studying, remembering the kanji, they've been constantly listening to comprehensible Japanese, and see how that plays out. All right, so thank you all very much. It's Nuke Marine, and I'll see you in another video.